Welcome to the first episode of Those Damn Amateur Hour Sports. Today is Tuesday, March 1st of 2022. My name is Benjamin Rubino, and I'm sitting here alongside my co-hosts Ryan Harlan and Andres de los Santos. And we have a really fun show to go over today, and so let's kick it to Andres to bring everyone through that.
Well, first things first, I want to say this is not the prod room or the voiceover room. We're in the TV studio for once. Nice little collaboration we got going on with KBVR TV. We're excited to be here. But yeah, in terms of the schedule for this show, we got a lot to go over per se. We have a recap. We're gonna go over some OSU sports a little bit later. We're gonna go over top 10 hardest hits from dodgeball, top 5 OSU plays, the Amateur Hour Professional Clutch Award, best celebration, and of course, an OSU sports update. So a lot to go over this far, a lot to go over for this show. We're excited to do it so far. So far in this year alone, I want to point out that Amateur Hour, they have broadcasted cornhole, IM tournament dodgeball, bowling, and club dodgeball. Ryan and I have some experience on that in a little bit. Ben, you watched some of the episodes. So,
I definitely have, yeah.
So there's that for us. But yeah, I know Ryan and I, we helped out with the cornhole episode a little bit. I was commentating. Ryan was acting as like my liaison per se.
Getting people's names for you and all that fun stuff. Yeah.
Running around getting names for us. Of course, we played a huge part in IM tournament dodgeball. That was a lot of fun. Commentating dodgeball was very, very chaotic and exciting in a sense. So that was a lot of fun too. Bowling happened. Bowling was a lot of fun as well. And of course, club dodgeball. Club dodgeball was there too. But yeah, we have a lot to go over. We're excited to do so. We will be right back. We'll go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. This is Those Damn Amateur Hour Sports.
Hello everybody, I'm Ben Paul alongside of Andres de los Santos, and we are ready for some fantastic Pac-12 football tonight. It's a rivalry game, as the Washington Huskies are in town to take on the Oregon State Beavers.
Audio, man, it's in the air. It's the fluctuations that vibrate our ear holes and make the cochlea sensitive, you know. You can't ignore it, and you try to start measuring it, and it just pulls you in. Well, I used to try to play music on my own, make the sounds from my own hands and instruments. Then I started recording. Upon hearing myself in my recordings, I decided I should just record. When you're a young adult who is serious about pursuing media as a career or even a side hustle, a lot of people won't take you seriously. OMN is cool because not only will they take you seriously, they'll push you and they'll give you all the tools to really try to do something special with it and let you be creative about it. And so that's what's been special about OMN to me. I'm Sam Lay, and I'm a student engineer at Orange Media Network.
Thank you for joining us back on Those Damn Amateur Hour Sports. We have a really fun segment coming up for you. This is from a dodgeball tournament that was held inside Dixon Recreation, and we're going to lead you guys through the top 10 hardest hits from that dodgeball tournament. So let's watch it. And we're going to start out with number 10. 52 with the ball, throws it. Red shirt tries to catch it to save his play, but drops the ball, and he's now eliminated.
That's tough because he almost had that right there. Number 9, we have water polo shorts. So his player gets out, right there. Gets hit again, right in the rear. That's double elimination, double humiliation for sure.
Now let's move on to number 8. This guy's going for the block.
So he dodged it.
Jumps up. Unfortunately, gets hit still. Hits the guy next to him.
Number 7. Obviously, so in dodgeball, you want to dodge. That's the objective, right? And you jump over the ball to try to dodge it, but you don't jump into the ball like that, like that player did. Not the way you want to go. But yeah, and he was out for the tournament for sure. Kind of a sad way to go out when you jump up to avoid the ball and you get hit by it.
Similarly with number 6 on the list, this guy dives to the ground to try and avoid the ball, still ends up getting hit by the ball through all of his efforts. Sometimes it's still not good enough.
back in.
Number 5. Oh, this one's painful. I remember this one.
You're down to low numbers of
All right,
just
look at
letting
that.
the balls
Beautiful
fly.
pitch. Look at the way it curved. You see that? You see that curve?
She's so nonchalant
I
about
know.
it.
She was like, I mean, I did that. Number 4. Another face shot,
Fingertips,
if
and
you
that's
will.
out. That's it.
A lot of face shots in
It's
dodgeball.
always
for
crazy
sure.
when you just feel it graze your
right
fingertips
there.
and you know.
Boom.
Oh,
You notice how his head whipped back too?
face.
Gotta be painful.
Oh.
That would've been
Oh.
standing there dazed and confused, like,
catching
am I
his-
out? Like,
He's catching his breath, like, oh man, that just happened.
Do we need the
Not the ideal way to
call
go.
a paramedic? Oh. Mike, we need a trainer, and I am.
Definitely, yeah, I remember commenting this and losing my mind.
Let's move on to number 3. I believe we got a spill on aisle 3.
That back, that ball goes
Tries
down.
to throw it, slips right at center court, gets hit by the ball. He's out.
And then number 2, another face shot for you. Boom! That was a cannon, literally.
Timeout on
That was
the
just
court.
Timeout.
brutal. Look at that
That was a
curveball, and yeah,
brutal
she took
headshot.
some time to recollect herself for sure.
Which is granted.
Which is
She,
rightfully
she deserves it.
You get hit, and that was
I like how everyone's checking on her.
yeah. Everyone making sure she's okay.
She's smiling.
Definitely.
look at that smile. Look
And
at that mask.
yeah, she's smiling through the mask, through the pain. Yeah, he was regretting that one. And number 1, the nut shot to end all nut
Keeping the
shots.
ball in front of his mouth like a baseball glove.
Right there. So you can't see it at first because it looks like I hit in the stomach, but then you cut to him right there, and Ben, he's just in agony.
Ouchtown population, you, bro.
No, because like in dodgeball, just those getting hit in the regional square
Yeah.
is painful, and then
needs to
future
take some time.
generation was
He's
screwed.
getting all the help he needs to.
Someone get that man an ice pack.
Someone get that man a Gatorade that's behind him. Even like his teammates like, hey man, you good?
He's feeling it. He is
I
feeling
like how
it.
it's just like a collective just like a transition of what happened, but yeah, just
Everybody's staring at him.
yeah, no, what made it worse is just like he rolled around on the floor for a solid 5 minutes after, and the game was so going on. And one thing to know, I think that was club dodgeball. So like the balls like for like IM dodgeball, it's a little bit different. It's actually like the foam balls, not the foam like little balls that you guys have where it's like this big. But no. In club dodgeball, the actual ball itself, like Kiruna, is like the same like hardness as this football. It's very yeah, exactly. It's very intense. And he got hit right in the no-no square, and his future generation was just screwed at that point. And but yeah, we'll hope that man's okay. I'm gonna say he was okay. He got up after. He was fine. He got up after like lingering for like a little bit. But yeah. All right, that was our top 10 hardest hits from IM Dodgeball, IM and Club Dodgeball from Amateur Hour. Now we'll talk a little bit about our top 5 OSU plays, and we'll just go down the line here. Ben, you want to start us off?
I will. See, I have two football memories that are great plays that happened this past season. First off, I'm going to go back to the beginning of October 2nd versus the University of Washington, where our field goal kicker for the football team, Everett Hayes, nailed a 23-yard field goal game winner as time expired, which gave Oregon State the win over rival University of Washington. And what's funny is what this led to was a full-on storming of the field from all the fans inside Reser Stadium, and it was quite the sight to see. The second play I have is also from Oregon State football, and this is later on in the season, second to last game of the season versus Arizona State University, where our jackknife of trait, one of our best players, Jack Coletto, he fakes the handoff and runs it 47 yards in for the touchdown to give Oregon State a decisive score to put them up in the game. Ryan, how about you?
My favorite memory, I would say, is a little more recent. It's a 13-3 win over Xavier. More specifically, Jacob Melton, who had a grand slam and a 2-run homer in that game. The baseball team has been on fire, and he's going to be a guy to watch going forward. Andres?
Oh, for me? God, I'm trying to bounce my football here for a second. Don't want this fall on the table. So Ben, you had football. Ryan, you had baseball. At least the moments I picked. So obviously, I picked men's soccer winning the Pac-12 championship.
Oh,
and
that's
was their
definitely
first.
one.
That was their first outright Pac-12 championship this season. They tied against Washington, rival Washington, 2-2. And obviously that tie would allow them to get the outright win to win their first Pac-12 title. And then from there, that was just like the continuation of like making the Elite Eight and like hosting all these great games. Even though the Oregon State team didn't make it to the finals, it was still a great memorable season to watch. And they won their first outright Pac-12 championship, so pretty cool. And my second favorite moment, it would have to be from gymnastics. Obviously, Jade Carey, she scored. She's an Olympic gold medalist. She's all-around gymnast. Phenomenal what she does. But I think it was pretty cool the fact that she scored a 10 against the Stanford meet. And the reason I picked the Stanford meet was because although she scored 10 in the previous meet on the vault routine, on the bars routine, this floor routine 10 was a little more memorable because it was their senior night. It was like the last time that the gymnasts could compete as one big team together. And to do it in front of Gil Coliseum, in front of a packed house, to do it in front of your senior teammates, like one final hoorah, it's still pretty cool, memorable. And there's a whole bunch of photos of Jade Carey like hugging her teammates, like, oh, we did it just for you. And I also picked that one because that gave Oregon State their 7th win of the season versus opponents. Finished undefeated, 7-0 at home. And guess who else finished undefeated at home this year?
Football.
Exactly. That's kind of why I kind of like rubbed it in for you just a little bit. But yeah, those are our top 5 plays. Of course, there's so many more, but yeah, those are the ones we thought of, and we had a good time doing so. So yeah, those are our top 5 plays. Of course, a lot of more. All right, now for the award segment of this show, we got a little something cooking for you guys. We're going to talk about the Amateur Hour Professional Clutch Award. Now, obviously, Ben and Ryan, the word clutch has so many definitions. It has a lot of different definitions for sure. But one thing to point out is clutch. I guess the general consensus of what clutch is like matters. Not matters. When you needed it most, they delivered. And sure enough, this player from dodgeball delivered because he was down 3-1. He was down 3-1 and came back with the win, got his team the win. And yeah, I would let the play speak for itself. Let's watch the play. So right there. 1.
Oh, right in the right elbow.
2.
Oh!
3.
Oh!
And you can
Look at that excitement.
I mean,
Get the whole team in there.
rightfully so.
Too
Can you
fast.
imagine you're down
Come on,
3-1
man.
and you come back and you
What a
give your
comeback.
team the win?
Oh my goodness.
Pull the Cleveland Cavaliers, if I do say so myself.
That's clutch.
Being down, exactly. That is clutch. If you look up clutch in the dictionary, it's a segment of that because that is clutch. If I do say so myself. But yeah, that was so surreal. And then you hear the oh. That was me. I was just very, very like excited about that. But yeah, so that play is very, very clutch, if I do say so myself. And the next segment, next award we got going on is best celebration. So obviously, when athletes win any tournament, prestigious tournament, you ask them, what's next? What do you do next? And for this pair that won the Cornell tournament, their celebration was a little bit unique, per se. Let's watch the film.
For cornhole, Axel and Carson. First of all, gentlemen, congratulations once again winning it. My last question is, gentlemen, repeating I am champs. How are you guys gonna celebrate this win?
I'm gonna go do statics homework.
And Carson, how are you gonna celebrate it?
Man, I might have to do homework too.
Homework, and I have an essay to write too, so that's all right.
So you win I am cornhole, you blow the competition out the water,
Yeah.
and to celebrate you do homework. That's very, 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 very college-esque of these answers. But yeah, that's hands down is the best celebration and the right celebration to do because school comes first. So obviously, that's a huge factor in making sure everything's all right.
Exactly. And with that, we're going to be going to a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be doing a little Oregon State sports update. So stay tuned.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ben Paul alongside alongside of Andres De Los Santos, and we are ready for some fantastic Pac-12 football tonight. It's a rivalry game as the Washington Huskies are in town to take on the Oregon State Beavers.
Welcome back to Those Damn Amateur Hour Sports. This is the segment where we're going to be giving everyone a little update and recap of what Oregon State sports have happened and what is coming up in the future. So to start it off, last week on Friday, Oregon State Gymnastics held their final home meet of the season, which happened to be their senior night, and this was against Stanford. Oregon State ended up winning the meet overall and actually in each individual category as well. But what we were able to see from this and what Andres talked about a little earlier was that Jade Carey scored another perfect 10, which is her third of the season.
I want to
Second or third?
Yeah, second or third this season, right around there, yeah.
It was senior night though, so we had a lot of seniors giving their final performances inside Gill Coliseum. The emotions were running high. I could definitely see some of these ladies were really emotional about it and just so happy to be with their team, finally competing for the last time inside Gill Coliseum. And from this, we have two Pac-12 awards to give out from the week, which are Pac-12 Freshman of the Week, and this is given to Jade Carey, no surprise there. And then also Pac-12 Specialist of the Week, which is given to Caitlin Yanish this week, who had a great performance inside Gill Coliseum. And now moving forward for the Oregon State Gymnastics team, on March 19th, they're going to be heading to Utah to take place in the Pac-12 Championship Tournament, one where they have a pretty good chance of winning the whole thing. So I'm really excited to track that team as they're heading there and just follow them along as the season comes to a close. Now let's head to Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. I mentioned baseball earlier with Jacob Melton's grand slam and two-run homer. Baseball is currently undefeated, 7-0, started the season with a dominant 21-1 win against
insane.
UNM, which isn't
There's
is insane.
There's got to be a mercy rule at that point.
One would think. One would think, but unfortunately, there is not in baseball. Currently, the Oregon State Beavers were scheduled to play today, Seattle, but the game has been rained out. So that will be postponed and made up at a later date. They will play this Friday, though, against UC Irvine, looking to continue that undefeated streak. And Andres.
I'm going to go 10-0.
10-0.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit. I have no basketball. I'll talk about basketball, but I have no basketball in front of me. Hopefully this makes up for it. So yesterday, February 28th, the Oregon State men's basketball team took on the Washington State Cougars in what would be their final home game of the season. It was a crazy, chaotic turn of events. Tip-off was at 8 p.m. And even though the Oregon State Beavers scored 97 points, which was the highest they've ever scored in a game this entire season, they still lost to Washington State in overtime by a score of 103-97 in overtime. And they fell to 3-25 on the season. And before that, I know, Ryan, you and I have talked about this before. Before that, it was just, this team has not really had much of a groove in general. On February 26th, they lost to UCLA. That was their official, quote-unquote, senior night. They lost by a score of 94-55. Pretty demolishing and brutalizing loss, to say the least.
Yeah.
And then 2 days before that, they took on rival USC and lost 91-94 in overtime. So
Overtime game.
Yeah, another overtime game, yeah. So it's interesting. This team has just not been really, I don't even know how to put this, but just, it's been a chaotic season for men's basketball. They fall to 3-25 on the season with a record of 1-17 in conference, currently on a 15-game losing streak, to say the least. So from going to the Elite Eight, being like one of the top 8 teams in the country, to barely even having 5 wins on the season, it says a lot about this program. But the Oregon State, they still have a chance they have 2 more games versus Washington, and I think Colorado, I want to say.
No, Washington State.
Washington State, yeah. So they have a chance for redemption versus Washington State. Then after that, it's a Pac-12 championship, but from there, who knows? Who knows what could happen?
Yeah, this season has definitely been one to forget.
It's
That
been
is
really
for
chaotic, to
sure.
say the least.
They're not the only team to lose 20-plus games after making the Elite Eight in the same after the previous year, but they are the first team to lose 24-plus following an appearance in the Elite Eight. So it's been definitely one to forget.
I mean, yeah, and if you followed along with the Those Damn Sports podcast, you'd definitely hear that I've been super loyal to Oregon State the whole time. I still thought after following the Elite Eight season last year that this team could do something special. Unfortunately, they lost what seemed to be too many key pieces for the team, and they brought in a lot of transfers. So I really just don't think that the team ever found themselves this season. I don't think that there was a lot of togetherness within the program. That's just what I've heard from players and sources around the team. But you can never tell what's going to happen next season, but this is definitely one to forget for Oregon State.
Yeah, the team kind of just hit a rut in the middle of the road, and they just really never got their groove. So, say at least, 3-25 on the year. Yeah, we keep saying it. It's season to forget. But for women's basketball, on the other hand,
Different story.
A little bit different story. They have a 2-game losing streak right now. They're currently 13-11, I want to say. They lost February 26th versus Colorado, lost 45-60. And then February 24th lost to Utah by a score of 58-70. However, as you and I both know, as we all know, entering the postseason, everyone's 0-0.
Yeah.
So Oregon State has a chance. They actually play against Arizona State, the Sun Devils, in the Pac-12 tournament tomorrow, March 2nd, 2:30 tip-off. Arizona State is the 9 seed. Oregon State is the 8 seed. And from there, the winner would go on to play the number 1 seed, which is Stanford. So, fun little tournament events. But so nonetheless, women's basketball has a chance to kind of redeem themselves for this season, kind of just get back in the group of things to the dominant force they once were. But anything can happen in the realm of sports. So they have a chance to come back and stay alive. But we got to see how that comes out.
Do you guys have any other updates?
Softball currently is 12-3 right now on the season. They knocked down number 17 Tennessee, and they won also 13-7 over Baylor. Actually, funny story how I found out about it. So I was up late at night when the game was going on, and I didn't hear any updates from the softball account, and so I was kind of like worrying like a little bit, like what's the score, where are we going and all that, and I ended up going to the Baylor softball Twitter account to find the score and post the score update from the OMN Sports Twitter, just so that we could have it out. And then by the next morning, I woke up and I saw the score up there, and I was like, well, at least I did the job before the social media person for softball and get the score out there. But I'm sure they were asleep or something like that.
Well, props to you because I was asleep. So props to you. In terms of updates, track and field, the cross country, they broke 3 records on the final day of the Pac-12 Invitational. Get this, broke the record for 800 meter, 3,000 meter, and 4x400 meter relay. Now, mind you, I've never done track and field in my life. I'm not much of a runner myself, but anytime a team breaks 3 records on the same day, that's still pretty remarkable, I have to say the least. So,
that's impressive.
That's not uncommon, but it's pretty crazy to think about. So major kudos to the Oregon State track and field cross country team. But that's pretty much all I got here, to say the least. We've kind of covered all our bases, in Oregon State sports. So like I said, baseball got rained out unfortunately today, but they have a chance to come back and go move to 10-0 in the season versus UCI. So we got to see how that plays out.
All right, I think that about wraps it up for this OSU Sports Update. I'd like to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in for this first episode of the Those Damn Amateur Hour Sports Show. And just make sure you guys have a good night. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ben Paul alongside of Andres De Los Santos, and we are ready for some fantastic Pac-12 football tonight. It's a rivalry game as the Washington Huskies are in town to take on the Oregon State Beavers.